Everybody's hell is different. It's not all fire and pain. The real hell is your life gone wrong.
My name is Easy, and welcome to another episode of Easy Does It, where we take a look at YouTube channels and give reactions and reviews to them. And we sometimes do daily vlogs. Now this week we're going to take another look at another list channel. It popped up in my suggestions page. That's where I get most of these from. Is if it's suggested, I might take a look at it, check it out. This is very similar to like last week's, where he was a horror enthusiastic. This channel, they take a look at all different kinds of genres in entertainment. They do music and pop culture, so they do a variety of different types of lists, not just, movies or something like that. The channel's called Retro Vault, but the thing is that if you type this in and do a search on YouTube, you're going to get 100 different channels called Retro Vault. There's a ton of them. You have to look for the one with the pink or purple mansion key on the bottom of Retro Vault. That's the one you want if you're checking this channel out. They got about 13,000 subscribers, which is okay, but it's not like the greatest. They joined in September of 22, and they're from the United States. Now I've heard a chick do the narration. I've heard a guy do the narration. So I'm guessing this is like a couple team or whatever. But anyways, we're going to check out their latest, which is, or one of their latest, the most bizarre 80s sci-fi B-rated films you may never heard of or whatever. So let's get into it.
Golly willikers.
Oh, a Star Wars spoof.
Whoa, I bet you can't wait till I talk about that movie, huh?
Huh.
So today, we're going to dive into 80s sci-fi from across the globe. From France to Japan to what we fondly used to call...
Oh, I guess they add foreign
These are
films
the
into
films
their
that are
shit
so
too.
bizarre, they
apparently.
just defy explanation. I mean, we're going to cover a French...
I don't watch a
that
lot
looks
of
like
foreign
naked
films.
Avatar, Soviet citizens who teleport
Every
to
now
a
and then
planet
I
where
will.
pants determine social status, and a Polish all-female society that keeps men in museums. So let's explore the films that were just too bizarre for U.S. blockbuster sci-fi section.
Wouldn't surprise me.
You may begin.
So, starting relatively tame, we have a post-apocalyptic
I've
Western
seen
starring
this
Bruce
mentioned,
Dern
but I've never
fighting
watched it.
water-stealing cult in the desert. And if you think that sounds normal, wait until you see their leader using interpretive dance to explain his evil plans. So you've got post-apocalyptic bikers who apparently raid a community theater costume department, and a cult that seems more interested in choreography than conquest. And, Bruce Dern looks like he showed up to the wrong movie, but he decided to stick around
I
anyways.
recognize a couple of the actors. Oh, this is a cartoon. I very rarely watch cartoons.
So
They
I
do
want you to
cartoons
imagine
on their
dropping
list
acid
sometimes
while
too,
reading a
apparently.
quantum physics textbook.
I've never heard of
And that's
this.
just the first 5 minutes of this movie. This French animated film has
Oh,
time travel
French. That's
paradoxes
why.
so complex, they give Doc Brown a migraine. I mean, there's an
I'm
army of
sure.
metallic clones led by a giant evil brain, warriors riding ostrich peacock hybrids, and this hero who has to defeat enemies that are actually himself from, different timelines. The animation looks like Salvador Dali designed a Saturday morning cartoon, right? Plus, I mean, everything looks like it was designed by someone who only saw normal objects described in poetry. All right, so we've got these two guys who agree to be frozen for 3 years, and then, of course, they wake up
Dimension?
decades later in an all female society that's, abolished men. But that's not the weird part. So the weird part is that this was made in communist Poland, and it somehow got past the censors.
Huh.
Maybe they were just a little too
Poland.
confused to object.
That's why I never
I
heard
mean,
of
our
it.
heroes, they discover that all men died in a male destroying war, which feels like something from a divorced lawyer's dream. And now they're stuck in an underground bunker where they're treated like museum exhibits. It's like if The Matrix was written by someone who really just need couples therapy. Alright, so we've got a mute black alien with 3 toes who lands in Harlem.
Yeah.
Replaced by a white
This
alien
thing,
bounty
I've never
hunter,
watched this.
just
It
like
just looks
Mormon
so dumb.
missionaries trying to cosplay Will Smith
Even
from
if it
Men in
is a
Black.
spoof,
And somehow this is the most normal thing that happens.
Brother
in the
from
movie.
another planet
Our
never
alien
bothered
hero
to
spends
watch
his
it.
time fixing
It just,
arcade
like I said,
machines with his
just
psychic
looks
powers
so dumb.
while hanging out in bars, trying to understand why humans do cocaine. Plus, watching
See,
this
it
alien
just,
try to understand New
just
York City in the
sounds
80s.
dumb.
It's basically how everyone from Ohio feels during their first week in Manhattan.
Yeah, I'm good. Some of this I would watch, but that one I
This
wouldn't watch.
Japanese
it's just so dumb.
cyberpunk movie is what you would get.
I
if
probably
Blade
wouldn't
Runner was
watch
made
this
by
one
Disney.
either.
So the plot.
A lot of
Who
Japanese
needs
movies
one?
are just
You've got
fucking
motorcycle
out
gangs
there.
battling
They are
robots while
weird.
live bands play in the background, right? So you gotta imagine
Japanese
Mad
have
Max,
a
but
really
instead
weird
of fighting for
mindset
gasoline,
when
everyone's
it
fighting
comes
for
to
the
their
right to throw like
entertainment.
the most aggressive concert ever. I mean,
I
the whole
usually don't
thing
like
feels like
most
someone
of it.
filmed a riot at a Tokyo Hot Topic during a power surge.
Yeah, I'm good.
Starbucker, intergalactic
Fluke.
boy wonder.
Luke Starbucker.
Doggy Ben Doggy,
Okay.
venerable member of the Red Eye Knights.
Before we were given Spaceballs, this Finnish film decided to turn sci-fi
Hardware
films inside out,
Wars.
looking like it was filmed in someone's garage with a budget of whatever was found in the couch cushions. So the special effects make the original Doctor Who look like it was Avatar. But there's something weirdly charming about watching space exploration being handled with all the grace of a drunk trying to parallel park. I mean, plus, their version of Lightspeed, it looks suspiciously like someone just shaking a flashlight at the camera. Well, I hope you enjoy it.
I'm not even sure I could watch that. It looks really
2
bad.
months in the time. You're going to see Europe again.
I loved Spaceballs though. That was hilarious.
Ah, yes, a detective story that's set in
Element
perpetually
of
flooded Europe,
crime.
where everything is shot in sepia tone because regular noir wasn't depressing enough. Our hero, he solves crimes by basically becoming the killer, which, that's what they may normally teach at the police academy.
What?
The whole
Solves
thing looks like it
crimes
was filmed
by
in a glass of
becoming the
whiskey that someone had been
committing the
crying into.
crimes? That makes a lot of sense.
You know, you just got to leave it to the Soviets to make a post-apocalyptic
Madman's
movie where
letters.
instead of fighting mutants, survivors sit in bunkers debating philosophy. I mean, the whole thing is so Russian, it hurts. While Americans, you know, their post-apocalyptic heroes were fighting in Thunderdomes,
Dying times here.
these guys are writing letters to their dead son about the nature of humanity. I mean, it's exactly as uplifting as it sounds. I mean, the main character spends most of the movie in a bunker.
This why I
with
don't watch
intellectuals
most foreign
writing
films.
letters
They're just
nobody will ever read,
so out
which is
there.
basically what
And they
Twitter
make no
or X
sense
will
half the
be
time.
after, you know, a nuclear war.
They really don't.
And here we have some more Soviet cheerfulness for
Or
you.
to a
Some want you to
museum.
picture a world covered in toxic waste, where our hero decides the best course of action is to, you know, visit a museum. Because apparently, when the world ends, cultural appreciation becomes an extreme sport. I mean, the museum is underwater and can only be reached during low tide, which,
What the?
of course, only
See
happens,
what I mean?
you know, once a year.
Just makes
So
no
our guy has
sense.
to wade through toxic waste while being followed by mutants who look like they were designed by a surrealist taxidermist. It's like if someone made the museum, but everyone was clinically depressed.
Okay. I think the only foreign films I could half-ass watch was the Italian knockoff films.
Sure.
A lot of the Italian knockoff films in the 80s were actually, even
This,
some of the
80s
70s
classic
were actually
involves
pretty decent.
invisible aliens who come to
Liquid
Earth to get
Sky,
high
huh?
off the endorphins
I've heard of this,
released during, you know,
but it just
orgasms
looked like
and
a
heroin use.
bizarre,
So they decide that the best place to do this is, you know,
like you had to
New
be
York fashion
fucking
scene.
fried out of your
Because
mind to
apparently even
watch
aliens
it.
know where to party.
And you, I mean,
Our
I'm looking at
protagonist is
it
played by
right
the
now,
same
and I'm
actress
going, yeah,
playing
you
both
got to
the
be
female
fried
fashion
out
model
of your fucking
and her
mind.
male stalker, while dealing with invisible aliens who basically turn sex into a death sentence.
See, it's,
The whole thing looks like MTV's Nervous Breakdown,
yeah, it's
and
just
the fashion
bizarre.
makes Lady Gaga look
Makes
conservative.
no sense. I wouldn't watch it.
Okay, here we have a businessman who starts turning
Joe,
into
the
metal,
Iron
and
Man.
after hitting a metal fetishist with his car. And that's the normal part. What follows is 67 minutes of a guy sprouting wires and pipes and, you know, eventually a giant drill in a place where drills definitely shouldn't be. The body horror is so intense, it makes The Fly look like a makeover show. You know, plus, I mean, there's a scene where a drill, that'll make you never look at power tools the same way again. By the end, this hero, he transforms into a walking pile of scrap metal with tank treads, and then fuses with his girlfriend to become a massive cyber vehicle.
What the
You know, of course, that threatens the whole world by turning it into, you know, metal. And you thought your
Japanese
morning commute was
weird.
rough, right?
But actually, that's
All right,
actually
we're bringing
kind
you
of
another
a pretty
polished
cool
sci-fi
concept.
epic that was so
Some guy
controversial
fucked
that the
up and he
communist
starts
government
turning
tried to
into
destroy
metal.
it. And the director, he had to wait like 10 years just to finish it. The plot
Silver
follows these
Globe.
astronauts who are starting a new civilization on another planet, where their descendants end up wearing costumes that look like someone raided a chicken coop and, I don't know, like a hardware store. There is this messiah figure who shows up in a motorcycle helmet, and religious ceremonies that look like Burning Man on a really bad acid trip.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one either.
Cool. Cool.
Our number one spot goes to the Soviets, who win
And
the Weird
Zaza.
Olympics with this one. We have two Russians who accidentally teleport to a desert planet where social status is determined by, of course, you know, the color of your pants. And the entire language consists of just two words. Ku and Q, I guess, yeah, Q.
Cool.
Except for Eslops, which means police, but it's just police spelled backwards. Because apparently even alien languages can be lazy. So the advanced alien civilizations, you know, they live in these rusty spaceships, There are fights over matches because they're considered, precious artifacts. And there's this social system so complex it makes like high school cliques look straightforward. I mean, the whole thing is basically what would happen if Marty
What?
Python wrote Dune with just lots and lots
Jeez.
of vodka.
They're so
The best part,
weird.
this was actually released to the general public.
Oh my
So while
god.
American audiences were watching E.T. Phone Home, Soviet citizens were watching this and probably wondering if their water supply had been like spiked or something.
Right. Just bizarre.
So,
They are
There
weird.
you have it, Vault Dwellers. 13 films that prove that sometimes the strangest trips, they don't even require drugs.
That's
Just a movie
just
ticket and
weird.
a high tolerance for confusion.
Okay. That's the end of that. But you see, you got to look for the old skeleton mansion key, purple or pink or whatever it is. I'm not sure what color that is. Hot pink, maybe? Anyways, that is Retro Vault. You can check them out if you want. They got a variety of different types of videos, list videos. They don't just do movies, they do music and pop culture and different decades. It's not just the 80s. Different genres. Check them out if you want. They're alright. Just similar to several others. There's tons of channels that are very similar on YouTube. So that's all I have for you this week. Thank you for watching with me, and we'll see you on the next one.